Listen to this, yo. Listen to this. Come on. Hey, they need crank. They need a dog crank. Here we go. DMV. Go girl worldwide. Hey, turn your radio up. It's the blend. It's the blend. The money need to rate with the Vegas at it again. Turn your radio up. It's the blend. It's the blend. The money need to rate with the Vegas at it again. Turn your radio up. It's the blend. It's the blend. Damn, Mick loving. Oh yeah. Come on. DC's old DJ D money. Monday and Wednesday 6 to 10. DMV Princess. Turn your radio up. It's the blend. It's the blend. The money Nika Ray Bootsy Vegas at it again. Turn your radio up. It's the blend. It's the blend. The money Nika Ray Bootsy Vegas at it again. Turn your radio up. It's the blend. It's the blend. The money Nika Ray Bootsy Vegas at it again. Turn your radio up. It's the blend. It's the blend. The money Nika Ray Bootsy Vegas at it again. Turn your radio up. And we're black.
What is wrong with Q's these days?
Your face says it all. You know, like the discussers, like he still can't get this right.
What is wrong with Q's these days? I even looped it an extra 12 so he can catch it.
Okay, but in my mind, I look for the countdown.
What countdown? Let's get this straight tonight.
He don't even remember how it go, D-Money.
What countdown are you talking about?
The countdown comes before the song,
The
and then comes
countdown is
you.
at the beginning of the whole track.
Gotcha. Duly noted. Duly noted.
The countdown goes into the song.
Okay, duly noted. Duly noted.
Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of The Blend right here on Facebook, YouTube streets. It is me, your man, DJ D Money. Of course, right there is the one and only Nika Ray.
Hello.
And in the cellar tonight, we got Bootsy Vegas.
Hey, I'm always in the cellar, baby. I'm always in the cellar.
Yeah, you sound like you in the cellar, boy. We're gonna have to work on you, man. Look. And you teach what?
Broadcast journalism.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, it is The Blend. We are back another Hump Day Wednesday night from the DMV, stands for DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Some are free and some are not.
We still on punishment.
Because of people like Bootsy Vegas going to the wharf. PG Mo County,
wharf,
you laid your bed, huh?
I didn't go to the wharf, so don't do that to me.
Listen, we still grounded over here. We still in trouble.
Well, my mayor not playing. She said we riding it out for another 2 weeks. And we'll look at the score then.
Okay, but my only thing is this. I know we laughing, and Lord knows some of this is funny. The convention center just made the convention center into a hospital with 443 rooms. If that don't tell you what they think is about to happen, you better pay attention. For you to turn it into a hospital, like, you know, the best.
The convention center?
The convention center, bro, is now a hospital, bro.
Yeah, like 100. I seen that 100 beds or something like that. They get
400,
way more
bro.
than that in there.
It's 400. It's 400. Over
Yeah.
400.
Okay. So they've been building on it.
Yeah, and as you know, they actually expect the number to be 160,000 in the U.S. by the beginning of August. So y'all still better take this serious. You still better understand that we're not in the clear. Just because they letting you out don't mean that you're safe to mingle and do what you used to do. You got to be very you got to use precaution. And I tell everybody, strengthen your immune system because they expect another 80,000 to die. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying.
Was another with a V in it just now? Another?
It's like mother.
Oh, okay, because he said another. So I just wanted to be clear.
DC, you know, that's that northeast right there.
MUVA,
Yeah, we threw that TH out. Not messing with it. It is a scary situation. I myself, you know, it was a nice day today. I actually sat on the porch for 3 hours. That's about as far as I'm going right now.
That's about it? You're practicing social distancing?
I'm not going anywhere. No.
Wow.
And this weekend is going to be telling because it's supposed to be what, 80 plus?
Right.
Summer-like conditions. They opening up cities. I don't know.
Nah, you know.
I don't know.
You know, but
listen, a lot of people did not listen to Uncle Larry when he was announcing that you know, his process and steps as far as reopening. People read the headline and was like, "Oh, we open up at 5 o'clock on Friday." No. Everybody not open. We all ain't free. Okay, give us free because we all ain't free. Y'all need to listen to what this man is stating. Okay. PG County and Moco had the highest cases. Everywhere else, y'all okay. Y'all not on lockdown. Y'all don't know punishment. Y'all not grounded no more. Y'all can go out 5 o'clock after Friday, or after 5 o'clock on Friday. But
people definitely are going to be out regardless. So you know what I'm saying. It is what it is. And yeah. Hey, I got a special guest in the D Money studio.
Really?
Come around here, Ma. Come around here.
Ma, who are you talking to?
Yes. She wanna say hi because she's just so excited on how we doing.
Hi.
You know what I'm talking about? That is Bootsy Vegas, Nigga Ray, and us.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. One of Glenn Arden's originals right there. You hear me? Don't tear the club up, Glenn Arden.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Hey, she looks like she on the way to the chateau.
So yeah, that's what it is. So over the week, how have you been? What's been popping with you?
Well, for me, the highlight of my week was the Erykah Badu, Jill Scott thing that went on. That was AKA the Love Fest. I would say
Snooze Fest. Look who stopped there.
Love Fest.
The ladies of Glen Arden are here.
Wow.
You know that's Miss Money right there.
Okay.
That's the CEO.
And she throwing up gang signs. So I went to gang signs.
Another Glen Arden.
Yeah. Glen Arden. Hey, so the I don't know if it was a snooze fest, but I would say about the fourth song, I was like, man, can somebody get 50 Cent and Ja Rule on the phone, please, so we can turn this up? Because this, I don't know where this is going. You know what I mean? I was really anticipating. And then to make my life worse, they announced what the next one's going to be. And I'm like, do I really want to see Nelly? Really?
Nelly and who is it? Nelly.
Ludacris.
Luda gonna destroy Nelly.
But
I did see Snoop Dogg put a challenge out. He said he want Jigga verse for verse.
I love you, Snoop.
Did you see that clip?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Damn,
nah, I put it up on the Blend Show page. Snoop said he don't want him song for song. He want him verse for verse. What you think?
Do you have a booing sound in your thing? What type of special effects you got? Do you got crickets? You got crickets? Something like, hey, come on, in love. I love Snoop. I love him. Don't do that, Snoop.
I mean, but are we tired of Nas and Jay-Z yet? Or has that generation passed? Can we get that for verses?
Oh, no. Now that happened.
Take us back to Illmatic.
Nas and Jay-Z.
Oh no, I'm with the shits for that one. Now I'm all in on that one. I'll jump in like double dutch. But come on, Snoop. Dog, come on.
You don't think Snoop can go verses with Jay?
You got some crickets in there? What do you have in there for me, bro? What you got for me in there?
What about Jay's going to resort back to Biggie's verses.
He had plenty though. He got a whole line of them.
Come on now. You know I'm the rock all day. Come on now.
I love Snoop though. Snoop is shooting a go-go movie. He was in the middle of shooting a go-go movie in DC. So I love him, but
I don't love him. He ain't invite me, and I've been around go-go since probably the beginning.
Now I don't know if you go back that far, Chuck Brown. I don't know if you go back that far.
Hey,
you ain't that old.
What do you mean? Nah, not the not the beginning.
Well,
since the popularity on the streets.
Well, just so I know, what did y'all think of the Jill Scott battle?
Snooze fest.
What did this righteous Howard University alum, proud Black woman up top? What did you think of it?
I felt like, it gave me a little life. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. It definitely did. It gave me the candle incense burning vibes and all positive vibes. I feel like I need some ratchet. I need my my Bone Thugs and
Hip Hop Atlanta, bro.
I need my Bone Thugs and Harmony and 3-6 Mafia. I need that right about now so that I can get that. I got cleansed with Erykah Badu. They had out the sage. That's what I feel like. Like everything was just pure.
Yeah. Now go ahead. I'm sorry, D-Money. Go ahead.
I will say, I not only was it a snooze fest, I ain't never seen Bruce Lee fight for 3 straight hours.
Oh, that was killing me. That whole visual with Bruce Lee was killing me.
I love her, bro.
And Erykah low key was on her Teddy Riley though. Low key was on her Teddy Riley.
She was throwing shots.
her iPad or her phone had died at one point. So
she got to charge her phone up. I'm at 3%. If you don't charge that shit up and keep it moving, what the hell is wrong with you?
I don't know if they plan on going that long.
I heard Jill just start playing her music when her phone died. I heard that.
Well, she was about to play her song. She had just started it when the phone went out. So when it went out, Jill went ahead and continued it and then went to go play her song. And by that time, when she was starting her song, Erykah got back in.
It was a lesson. I did catch one part because
they did have more viewers.
I didn't know Jill wrote some of those songs for Erykah.
Oh, absolutely.
No, Erykah wrote it for Jill. Oh no, you
vice versa.
Yeah, you got me. Yeah.
Right. One of them bangers Jill wrote. Yeah.
Well,
I didn't stay around because I was going to sleep and I didn't want to waste my day.
Well, let me give you the inside scoop on that.
Okay.
They felt this is true because, and I'm gonna give y'all the backstory. Somebody who remains nameless, he know both of them really good. He said they always had tension over that "You Got Me" song because Erykah could have been like, "Nah, just let her do it. Let her be in the video." Some people said they felt like Jill Scott was too big, the look they wanted, and then she never got the Grammy for it for a long time. And Jill was mad. And as I told y'all before, they ain't really been too chummy, and everybody was wondering. But I think that's why Jill Scott went over and beyond with it, because she was like, "Look, I love you, man. Like, you know, like, because real talk, if you already cool with somebody, you ain't got to tell them you love them 20, 30 times. You already know." But I just think they thought that was what's going to happen. They took the high road, but Jill for a long time felt the way. And then Erykah said it in there. You remember when Erykah said, "I went to one of your shows, but you kept it moving"? And Jill was like, "Yeah, I had to hurry up on stage." Like, it's been a lot of that. I see her and I don't speak. It was a lot of that going on. So somebody predicted that it was going to get real cat-like, but it didn't. You know what I mean? So
that was the weed.
The Erykah was on. Something.
Yeah.
That voodoo.
It was hot.
But it was the biggest numbers, and they started over 500,000, bro.
So they broke the Teddy numbers?
Oh, yeah.
What were they at? They were like 775 or something like that?
Yeah. They were almost to 1 million, bro. They was literally almost to 1 million.
Absolutely.
So the Gram increased their bandwidth, huh?
Yeah. I liked it.
And that was the first time Jill went live ever.
Really?
She's never done it before.
She probably never do it again.
Probably won't. She pulled a baby face.
Well, Babyface came back Mother's Day and dropped a brand new single.
Yeah. Babyface.
I didn't catch that. Well, I knew he wasn't performing due to the passing of Andre Harrell. He said he was going to reschedule the Mother's Day performance. So I did see that.
Yeah. That was a big loss.
Absolutely.
Huge.
People, especially here in the DMV, I recall sitting in meetings where they was trying to figure it out. You remember that 2K9 show? And Diddy and them, they just couldn't figure it out.
Well, the great thing is our guest today was in the middle of those conversations during X. He was in the middle of it. But also remember, because the Blend Show, we've been going for so long, Donnell Floyd talked about that when he was on our show. He kind of talked about it.
Right.
Yeah.
He talked about it in the fact that Andre Harrell wanted it, but Puffy did. So, and whoever that is in the background, Nika, Lord have mercy.
It must be them drinks they advertising, them ladies advertising on that side.
Shut up.
Yeah, but our guest today is going to be able to really speak on that situation big. So that's great. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, we do have a special guest, as E has already dropped. We got the one and only Mr. X, Darrin X, in the building with us, scheduled to land inside the Blend Show tonight.
He ready. Hey, he ready. He ready.
All right. So shout out to Dave, my man. Dave in the building.
Tito in the building. What up, Tito?
Yeah, shout out to Twan. I see Suki in there. I see Jerron, Boogie Baby G.
Okay.
Boogie Baby G. What up, Boogie Baby G? Hey,
that's what's
I
up.
want you to know something. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, because what I'm gonna say, it definitely is very go important. But go ahead.
Okay. So 2 people have been trying to battle me on music: Boogie Baby G and Mike from Listen. And this Friday, me and Mike gonna have a battle online. But Jerron, since you on here, let me tell you something. After I dust Mr. Mike Thompson off, I'm coming your way, because y'all keep debating me like y'all know more music than me. You don't know no more music than me.
No what?
No what?
Repeat that.
No more. You don't know more music than me.
Jeez. What you drinking?
That's crazy. That's that red cup.
Do it to him every time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, D-Money. Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say this is the anniversary of the falling of our godfather of go-go, Chuck Brown, as of Saturday. That's the day that he was called home. So definitely want to salute that and let that be known that the Blend Show will forever, well, I can speak for me, forever be honored to probably have one of his last media
it was the last one.
appearances. And that definitely is something that I will never, ever forget. You know what I'm saying? So
and for me, I'm never gonna forget that we were all together the day that he died, and we were trending because what was the app we was using that was tweeting our show? What was the app?
That was that was a brick ago. I don't even know if they still exist, but I definitely remember.
No, they do, because I use them every day.
I use it every day, but you don't know the name of it.
The radio app tweeted us, and so but we were all together that day. That's what I'm gonna remember.
Thank you, Dave. Shout out to Kendall.
Stop lying to her, Dave. Stop lying.
You such a hater. Kendall in here. Shout out to Kendall. Shout out to Settle.
Okay.
All right, and it's also the legend's birthday. He turned 70. Little Steveland.
Oh wow.
All right. So
AKA Stevie Wonder's birthday today. How Nika just gonna say all right on Stevie Wonder's birthday shout out?
Because I had a question. No, I have a question, because I keep hearing that Stevie Wonder really ain't blind. I just need to know.
Okay.
Have you not heard the stories?
Now, what I think people get misconstrued is when people say that they're blind, they actually think they can't see anything. But legally blind is just that your numbers fall below a certain percentage. So I believe he can see shapes.
Okay. And figures.
Right. But I don't think he's so blind that it's just darkness.
Well, see, okay. I want to say, I can't recall the comedian, and I could be wrong. It might have been, it was either D. Ray Davis or what is the guy's name? I want to say Leon. I can't remember.
I can't believe y'all, man. I can't.
But they had a whole story. It was a whole story or a segment about how Stevie Wonder stole the girl that he was talking to, and he actually pointed her out in the club. He was like, "Oh, you talking about that girl? Oh, I ain't mess with her." So I'm just saying, that I can.
D-Ray Davis is your voice of reason. He's gonna be the person.
I said I can't remember the other guy's name. It could have been D-Ray, but I don't think it was D-Ray. See, wow. Look at Dre. Dre says Stevie Wonder conceived. He catches the falling mic, like how you catch a falling mic.
Hey, y'all.
Your reflexes can't be on point like that.
I am very good friends with his guitar player, Morris O'Connor. I'm really good friends with him. Please, y'all. He is blind. Come on, y'all. Like, for real. Of all things we're going to use this platform for on his birthday, this is what we're going to talk about. All the great music he got.
I just wanted to know.
Y'all don't think he really blind. Come on, man.
I just want to know.
Once again, there's definitions of blind.
But I've seen, if you go on YouTube, wherever you want to search, whatever your search engine, Google, whatever you use, you will see multiple accounts of celebrities and people that have been around him telling stories about how he isn't really blind. I'm so serious. If you're not around him on a day-to-day basis, you can't really say if he is or if he isn't.
Well, I have seen Stevie walking around on stage in concert. I will say that. And
I ain't got nothing. I don't got nothing. I ain't got nothing for this, bro. I don't got nothing for y'all.
Lucy, you ever seen Stevie in concert? Huh?
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
3 times.
Okay. Did he walk around on stage?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But I also know of a time that he jumped on the piano and the band was crowding around him thinking he was going to fall. And everybody was like this, hoping he wasn't going to fall. Like, I know, first of all, he's really funny. He's like a real comedian. Like, this man is like a straight comedian, bro. Like, so he stay on Joke Time. And it's definitely something that he would circulate, because Donnie Simpson told me the funniest thing I ever seen about a human being. He said Stevie Wonder called Johnny Gill to the studio and was like, "Hey, get here right now. Get here right now. I got this song for you." He said, "Man, this song is the best song ever. I know it's a hit." He said Johnny Gill drove 30 miles to LA. He gets to the studio and he says, "So what's the name of the song?" And he said, the name of the song is called Pab. And Johnny Gill said, "What is that?" He said, "Yeah, punk ass bitch." And he started playing the piano and it was singing, "You're my Pab, you're my Pab." And Johnny Gill was like so upset at this man.
But
like,
you can't.
He joked.
You gotta play it off because it's Stevie.
It got played off because it's Stevie. Hey, dog. But Donnie said that Johnny Gill was visibly upset about it because he really thought it was a hit record waiting at the studio for him.
Oh my gosh.
So that's the type of stuff that man be on, y'all. So
wow. Well, the type of stuff that the Blend Show is on tonight is giving you great entertainment news you can use, and special guest DMV legend. And I'm gonna say that because I don't use that term too swiftly, but this dude here, I think he raced that term. Darrin X is our special guest inside the Blend Show tonight. Let's go ahead and get into a little music. It's like 30 past the hour. Let Nika freshen up. Bootsy Vegas refill his cup. And
she's gonna need to freshen up. She need to freshen up. Fix that.
And then, we're gonna
somebody like it.
And then we come back. We're gonna keep rolling. All right. That's what it is. It's the Blend Show right here. Facebook, YouTube, streets. Let's go. What's up, Bam? What's up? Blend Shows, me, your man, DJ D Money. Happy birthday, Stevie Wonder. Yeah. Every superstition writing on the wall. Every superstition. All right, I'm gonna stop. Nothing more so busy. Oh, don't looking back. 7 years of love. Oh yeah. Good thing in your past. Oh, if you believe in things that's
Oh, very superstitious. Ooh, I still can't
Shout out to all my uptown,
me up the problem.
Facebook,
Oh, yeah.
YouTube, streets. What's up?
Do all that you can. Keep me in a daydream. Oh, keep me on strong. You don't want to
EJ, what's happening, Eric?
Oh no.
Andre, good to see you.
Alright. Hey, if you believe in things that you don't understand, then you survive.
Share this feed, share this feed. Special guest tonight, Darrin X. We're going to talk about some things tonight, y'all. Yes.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Once again, it's me, your man, DJ D Money. For your listening pleasures, you're listening to The Blend Show. Facebook, YouTube, streets.
Y'all listen.
Nothing more to say.
Tonight, I want to bring y'all on the
Very
stage two people. One I just met tonight.
That you don't understand, then you survive. Superstition ain't the way. Oh yeah. Nah, nah, nah.
Let's keep it going.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, the first time ever. Legendary, extraordinary, is going to give you a version on the go-go side. Something special, something special.
Showing a little
All y'all
love
from near and far, you can clap your hands.
to the legend Stevie Wonder turned 70, y'all.
And everybody say, hey, 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 go-go. Hey, yeah. Go,
It is the Blend Show. Special guest tonight, my man Darrin X.
Are you ready for it?
In the most bundle blooming melody. Ain't no love the cure. You can rest your mind assured.
Say what?
You love and you always
Somebody sing it with us.
can't reveal the mystery of tomorrow.
That's right.
But in passing, you'll grow older every day. Since all this fun is new, can run this word and show.
Say what?
Be loving you always.
If you a music lover, you gotta love this. If you a music lover, you gotta love this.
Sing something. That's right. Her acceptance is the way to pay. Oh, did you know that life is giving love like Gary? Who lasts through forever in another day? Say what? Come on. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Don't go. I've been loving you always. Come on, DC. Always. Say what? Always.
Let's get into a little crank.
Y'all be sure to check out that CFP tomorrow night, 4 in the morning. Each and every Friday night, brand new spot right here, Club Scene.
It is the Blend Show. It's me, your man DJ D Money. We got Darrin X coming up, as you can see. He's in the green room, checking all his all that stuff right there. Don't you go nowhere. Share this. We're gonna talk about some things tonight.
Just a little something warm up to you now. I'm talking about. Also, y'all don't keep it brand new 21 and over stopping. Each and every Tuesday at the Galleria. Silver Spring, 21 and up.
Party boy, what's up?
No exceptions. Straight out B, 21 and up. Real sexy style. We stopped at 56. Also right there at Paradise. Good to see my CCU too. My nigga sound. Yeah. Also right there at 17. They got a birthday tonight. Let's go. I told you that I never run down. I can't work. On my way with the suit. The suit. Hey, right now, not this my nigga. Hey, third world, not this my nigga.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't you go nowhere. We got Darrin X moments away inside the Blend Show, along with Nika Ray and Bootsy Vegas.
We gotta rock the show. Come on, let's shoot your birthday. Come on, let's shoot your piece. Come on, let's shoot your birthday. Come on, we gotta rock the show. Come on, let's shoot your birthday. Come on, world, what I tell you. Come on, people. The third world, hey, where is this day? Hey, when I ride for my nigga dog, 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 when I ride for my nigga dog. Oh yeah, yes. The third world. Oh yeah, yes. The two official. Touch your phones. Oh yeah, yes. Wanna. The third world. Oh yeah, yes. 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 Wait. Yes. Yes, wait, DJ. Yes, birthday. Wait.
It is the Blend Show. Woo, Lord. Little music break right there. Shout out to once again Stevie Wonder, gave you some live familiar faces, and gave you some of that TCB. You know what I'm talking about. Rest in peace to my uptown brother Polo. You
Absolutely.
heard me. The team is back. Nika Ray, Bootsy Vegas. I guess we all in the straddle and ready to rock and roll.
Wow. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, coming to the platform, to the Blend Show tonight, a man of many opinions and accomplishments. This man's list of accolades go really, really long. But I must say, he's one of the coolest guys. He's one of the humblest guys. And also, his hand has stretched in every genre of music and every DMV music scene that you can think of. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, Darrin.
Thank you. Thank you, E.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
It really is good. So I see that you have the mansion backdrop. Is that your real house or is that
Man, I'm at a WeWorks down here in Chinatown.
Oh, okay. So you still at work?
Nah, man, I've been off, man. I'm in the house.
Oh, I'm about to say, I can't believe you out here still being a monkey for the hunky. I mean, I'm like, man, like you can't be doing this, bro.
No,
Man.
man, no. I'm just making sure family and friends okay. You know what I'm saying? Make sure everybody keep their sanity.
Absolutely, man. How are you doing? What has this COVID thing been like for you?
I mean, I guess money could probably relate to this, man. When you've been in the military, man, they warn you about everything. So when you see stuff like this, if you've never been really sick or you've never really been in a situation where you had a lot of medical issues, you just got to be a little more cautious than you have been when you know if you already been doing it. But if you haven't been, it really will panic you to a point where, you know, if you do catch this, it could be an issue. But you know,
Right.
Do you agree with that, D Money, about just a whole military mindset?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because we tend to think just different. We're programmed in crisis to think differently. We have to we're programmed to think to still function. We still got to do our job and go beyond. At least ask for a Marine, because once a Marine, always a Marine. We always on the ready. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Wow.
I was a military contract. I worked around Air Force, so I was
Yeah.
actually in a medical facility. So it was
Wait, then
yeah.
he's mentally more ready than I was.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, because I heard that you Marines can be a little loose cannon at times. So you know what I mean. I heard y'all can go. You
I
know what I mean.
also heard that you can't do it like me. I mean, that's what Scooby told E.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
heard that. I just heard that.
Hey.
A lot
Shout
of
out to
things
them.
you hear on these YouTube streets.
You know what I mean? Hey, Darrin X, I think one thing, and let me say this: me and D Money don't agree on much, but
Really?
me and D Money have actually agreed, and this is no smoke, bro. I really think you are genius for what you created in GoGo, and I really don't think that it is really it is emphasized or talked about the one thing you did for GoGo that has changed GoGo forever. And for everybody out there, that's go ahead, D Money, you about to say something?
Nah, go ahead. I'm listening.
The one thing I feel like you should get credit on is the fact that you brung samples to GoGo. Like ever since you started doing every band that has ever existed since then plays their own form of samples. And I'm fascinated to know, how did you hear or how did you know that that would fit in GoGo? Because that was
well,
never done before. That was never
well,
done before.
it actually was like actually. I mean, if you, I can give you some history real fast.
Okay, please do.
So So you remember when RE had a song called "E Get Busy" one time, and the thing would
Yeah.
go E. That was JB. JB was playing samples then.
Okay.
So when I got in the band, Ned had EPS, and Ned would have BJ play samples on the EPS to not compete with BJ. I mean, JB, but to like bring it more up to date.
Okay.
So the old Chica thing you referencing, that was actually some guy samples I had that I had put on the EPS, and Ned had arranged on the keyboards, and they were actually individual samples, and BJ was playing it like a rhythm on the drum pad. So that's not actually a loop. That's him playing that with the beat and the sample in the middle of it at the same time.
Wow.
So
Wow.
by the time I got in the band, I think I was playing more loops and sound effects and 808s and stuff like that, like complementing what they doing. And as BJ got away from that, I took over most of that. And that's how I started like chopping up Work the Walls and come back and coming up with all those sounds because I had all the samples by then.
Right. So my thing is this though. From being a guy who was more like a producer, technical audio guy, did you feel like maybe you were a bit above your head playing with the skilled musicians that Red Ashers was? Because at that time they had people don't realize what JB did, but you had JB, BJ, Folky Ned. What were you a little intimidated in the beginning? Be honest.
I mean, no, man, because man, my first band I ever worked for was EU. I was setting up equipment for EU when I was like 16, 17 years old.
Oh wow.
So when I left EU, I got a job with Essence in '85 doing the same thing, setting up equipment.
Wow.
So by the time I got in the band, I knew those guys, so I knew what their musicianship was. I knew what their level of playing was. So anything I was bringing, I had. If they gave me approval, I knew I was doing something right. So I just followed their lead. I mean, Ned was pretty much pushing BJ to do stuff. BJ was pushing me to do stuff. Godfather was giving me stuff to do. So it was just pretty much everybody's playing off each other. So by the time I got in the band, I already knew them.
Okay, D Money, you want to answer?
I'm in school right now. He's
Okay.
talking about RE in the 80s. I'm listening.
Okay. now, were you in the band before James Funk left, or you were in the band and then the transition happened from White Boy to James Funk?
Okay, so I got in the band. So I started setting up in the band in 85, 86. I'm right when they did Go Go Live, because I'm on Go Go Live.
Yeah, you by the clock.
Yeah, I was on the crew. I was setting up. We was supposed to move the clock. Hold on a second. This timer went off again.
Oh my God. So, okay, so hold on. just a quick lesson.
So by the time, let me see.
If you guys look at Go Go Live, when James Funk walks over to the clock, Darrin X is just standing there, and he kind of turns and looks, and it's like, do you? And then the clock comes up. So please go back and look at that.
Yeah, Funk went off script. Funk went off script, and the cameraman had to chase him. Funk went on the side of the stage. Cameraman chased him, and when he walked back, he couldn't cut in front of him, so he went behind him, and that's how I ended up getting on that shot. Wow. But I set up in Essence in 85, 86. Left. Well, so when I got there, John Cabaloo was rapping. Lil Benny had left the Masters. They were already gone. Most of those guys were gone when I got there. So when I actually left, Funk was actually rapping when I left as a crew, working on the crew.
Right.
I got back in the band, Funk was still there in 90, 91. And I think he left right before we dropped Work the Walls album.
Okay, hold on. Did he leave or was he voted out? Tell us.
No,
Tell us the truth.
Oh, I mean, everybody knows Funk, man. Funk does things the way he does them. I mean, if you ask any, I ask, Funky Ned would tell you that James Funk is the reason why Red Essence is popular, because he was the one that was bringing the music.
Mr. X, that ain't my
but
question.
now listen what I'm saying. I'm trying to give you the history of these guys who grew up together. Okay, it's things that they have conversations about that I can't get in the middle of because of their relationships.
Respect.
So when I see those guys say certain things to each other, it's kind of like I'm looking at it from the outside, like, y'all, won't you apologize to him and let him come back? And it's more like, it's been years of this, let him go. So it was one of those situations where Funk walked away in the middle of a show, and I guess Dre was fed up with it, and he didn't come back for a while. And we didn't have a rapper that night, so we got through the show. But when we got back home, we still had shows to do. So Donnell was always him. So Ned didn't want to rap.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Who?
Donnell was always him. What does that mean?
He was the number 2 guy. He was never the number 1 guy.
Okay.
So he wasn't going to never take the lead position. He wanted White Boy to do it. And White Boy kind of like was, he didn't feel like he needed to do it. Somebody else could have done it. Ned didn't want to do it, or he couldn't do it, or we just didn't want him to do it, or whatever way it was. But Dre got forced into that pretty much. And he developed into what you see today.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, being an RE fan and being a D Floyd fan, when I look at the Capitol Center show and they doing that joint, it looked to me like D Floyd was standing there like a lion, trapped in a cage, like, bruh, let me loose. I am ready to go. Because he was just standing there. Funk was doing this thing. And then, when D Floyd did his raps. But when I watch it, I still be like, that was the moment Floyd was like, let me loose, bruh. Let me loose.
That was about the time. I think you talking about Go Go Live, right?
Go Go Live, yeah.
So that was around, So Donnell was coming into what you saw in the 90s. You're right. Funk. I mean, and it's a hierarchy thing. Like, you got to pay respect to Funk when he's on stage, even when he comes now. He has to have his moment. Nobody can get in the middle of that, and that's out of true respect for what he's done for that band and the culture as well. So Funk can come on stage anytime you want.
Wow. Now, speaking of that, because you really walked into the next question, So my next question was, when he did, either he left or got voted out. Did you
He
have?
left.
Did
He
you
left.
have? Okay, he left. Okay, he left. Did you have anxiety on what you thought was going to happen for the future? What did you think that was going to be the end of Rasmus, or did you think it was going to be some serious transition?
Nah. I only felt that way one time, but before that, I mean, that particular time, no, I didn't,
Why
because
not?
I felt like we were already. I mean, because of Donnell Floyd, just to be honest.
Uh-huh.
About that time when Funk left, it was like 90, 91. Donnell was already doing what he was doing. We
Mm-hmm.
was already transitioning to him taking the lead on the whole song of Work the Walls without even having Funk involved. Taking over Lock It without Funk being involved. Like all those songs were transitioning into Donnell. So it wasn't like we were lost. It was like on the records, we got this. At the shows, it might be something different because we got to get through 2.5, 3 hours of performing with no lead talker. So we had to create a lot of songs to transition into the next thing and structure them in a way where Dre wasn't as prominent as he would have been as a James Funk.
Right.
So we did evolve. Like we had to.
So my question is, how long do you think it took for people to accept White Boy as a lead talker? And did you have any reservations of what you thought he was going to be successful as a lead talker?
Well, I mean, you can't replace James Funk. And you trying to replace him with somebody who's never done what he's about to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there is a shock to itself. The crowd has to get used to that guy now, to a voice they never heard, and they are stuck on what they hear. They hear the songs the way it's structured when James Funk played, right?
Right.
So we're changing it up now. So now it's almost like the new generation is coming and taking our old school music and flipping it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we didn't ever play one-on-one the same way. We never play back up against the wall the same way. We always like tried to step it up a little bit, play the more cranking parts a little longer than the smoothed out parts,
Mm-hmm.
because the crowd was by that time getting younger as well. So I mean, Dre took his time, he came along, but I mean it was because he was with a good band. You know what I'm saying? All he had to do is just come with us. We gave him everything, you know what I'm saying? We gave him anything he asked for, you know, and then we pushed him. And
Right.
you know, that's how I went.
Well, for those of y'all who are watching, we got the homie Darrin X on here, the legendary keyboard player from Rare Essence, legendary manager, assistant manager with TCB. He's done it all, and we definitely gonna get into all that. But this one question I really wanted to ask you, I've never asked you this professionally or personally. When Funk left and Proper Utensils had the Rump Shaker hit, did y'all feel like y'all might be on the ropes a little bit? Tell the
No,
truth.
man. No. Because we was churning out more music than anybody. I mean, you okay, put us on the show with them. That's where the money at. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was
Say it with
always
your
like that
chest,
with
bro.
us.
Say it with your chest.
I mean, that's how. I mean, I learned that from them, man. That's
No, you
them. That's what they did to me. You know what I'm saying? That's all. You know, it was a good record. You know, they had their little couple months, but you know, we put out a studio commercial album every 18 months for like 6, 7 years.
Wow, wow. What was the most successful Red Essence song that you were a part of doing your tender?
Uh, I could say the complete "Get Your Freak On" project.
Really?
Well, yeah, that was Geraldine. I mean, we was transitioning. That was right after Foots had passed
Right
away.
here, just had passed.
So you
Right
saying
here.
so we
Yeah.
was people was, I don't say writing us off, but when you asked me that question, did I ever feel like Essence would never play again? That was one of the times that I felt that when
Why is
Foots
that?
passed away, because he
Why?
was the only drummer they ever had. How you gonna replace that?
Right,
With
right,
what? With
right,
who? You know what I'm saying?
right.
And I think you know when we finally got Blue Eye, we kicked in the third gear. Like, you know what I'm
So why didn't Leslie work, you thought?
saying?
I don't know. Hold on. Hold on.
No,
I'm just
no,
being
and
honest.
I'm not laughing because I mean Leslie is a good dude, man. But you know, whenever you see somebody's good at what they do and they never go to another level, it's always a reason.
Mhm.
And Leslie had his reasons. You know, it wasn't that he wasn't dependable, but it was things that was outside of that. And they put up with it for a little bit, but it's like that's a position you cannot let slip. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? That's the drummer. You know what I'm saying? We need somebody consistent. We need somebody we can trust. We need somebody that's going to grow with us because we're coming out of something that they have never went through. This is not like this guy's coming back again. So, you know, we actually got blue from Proper Utensils.
I remember the whole situation.
Yeah. So yeah.
And the interesting thing was, I remember out of all the drummers that y'all could have got, I was fascinated to know that y'all got y'all drum set. You know what I mean? And it's fascinating because you were a setup person. He was a setup person. There are a bunch of people who were in your band as setup person, like
Scotty.
That still amazing. Yeah, Scotty was too. Yeah, that just amazes me. Why do you think that was the route y'all took?
Well, so when you said something about being did you ever think you was good enough, or you could ever be in playing rehearsals? Not really. I mean, I my first instrument I ever played was trumpet, and guess who the trumpet player for rehearsals was? So that was never gonna happen. So and I was young, so I didn't really have that skill set to be on that level anyway. So hanging around the guys that I knew that was doing the work and we could get in the go-go's free. That's pretty much what it was all about.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Getting equipment in. And then if you know what I'm saying, if you help the dude take the stuff out, you get to come tomorrow night and do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I met Radar. You know what I'm saying? That's how I got on the crew with EU when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? At Wembley's Park was like one of the first shows I took the equipment off the truck and put it back on back in the day.
So let me ask you this. I've been finding out lately that a lot of people who've been playing in bands for however long, you would assume that might be their favorite band, but it's not. So were any of the bands you played in or worked with your favorite band?
Well, actually, when I got the job with EU, they weren't my favorite band. Essence was my favorite band. Listen to the PA tapes. First real live version I heard was Trouble Funk. The first joint they did, but Essence was the PAs. Those were like the gold, that was the standard. You get an Essence tape, you know what I'm saying? You riding for a month, 2.5 months till you get another one. So when I got with EU, I mean, I knew about them, but when I got to really work around them, because Ula Tony was there when I got there, and I actually was there when Bear hired Foxy Brown. And that's when, after they did Future Funk, they started doing a more hip-hop, for more fast-paced stuff. Like, the more newer stuff they were playing back then, like the Cabbage Patches and the Go Juju Go and all that type stuff. Because Shorty Tim and Juju came from Peacemakers, so I mean, Bear put that band together towards the middle. But yeah, I mean, to this day, yeah, EU is like one of my favorite bands. Now, but when I got with Red Essence, they were like, that was where I wanted to be. That everybody would.
Wow.
Is that still your favorite band to this day?
Of course it is. I mean, the stuff they do now, I mean, it's like they're not trying to evolve. They're actually doing it. Like they're actually trying to keep new blood into the system, like any smart group would do. And I think the stuff that they're doing is matching what you see. So yeah, I mean, it's good to see them doing what they do.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the big homie Darrin X in here. If you guys got any questions, please log your questions in. He's going to be here with us. We're going to get more in depth to a whole bunch of other stuff he had done. But we got the big homie DJ D Money on the ones and twos. And maybe we could show some of the great work that Darrin X has done. This mix probably could be for something. Or if our DJ is smart like he think he is, he'll have something else.
Really though? I got this new hit. I got this new joint that I got from a dude named Scooby.
Oh wow.
How about that there? Hey, we'll be back. It's the Blend Show right here.
Darrin
Facebook,
X.
YouTube streets. Let's work.
Wait a minute.
Hey, if you got questions for Darrin X, make sure you put them in the chat. If you got questions for Darrin X, make sure you put them in the chat. We're going to get to them. A lot of history right here. Support those that support you. You know what I'm talking about?
Cold tomorrow night, legend night for the Tuesday. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know. What's the wife? Hold on to the highlight crew. What's up, right to the scene? Yes, sir. So that returns crew.
With the lady tonight, we go chicken, chicken. Tonight we go chicken, 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 chicken. I'm the king of the go-go beach. All the crew colors of the eat. We go later tonight, we go chicken, 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 chicken.
Let's see that one more time, Shorty.
I'm the king of the go-go beach. All the crew colors of the eat. We go later tonight, we go chicken, 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 chicken. I'm the king of the
If you got questions for my man Darrin X, we're gonna get into some history. Y'all know this man got a direct connection to one of our NBA basketball teams in the city. We're gonna get into all that.
Yeah.
As soon as the Blend Show comes back from break.
Right, yeah, Mike. Say what? That's a thing.
Yeah. Share this feed, share this feed.
Get on down, Calvino. Get on down, baby. Also, we got my man down there over there. Good to see you. And what's your name, baby? Hello, Shannon. What's your name, bro? Sweet Bonita in here. Yeah, we got Lisa. Yeah, we know Sweet Lisa. Park Road.
Blend Show, let's go a little bit right here, y'all.
Happy birthday, Lisa. Yes, indeed. Also, we got Sweet Pussy and all the crew. Sing it down, yeah. Don't wanna burn. Whoa. It all down flow. Say what? Making the ones even quicker. We got my man Bobby Brown here. Say what? My man Sherman and Dawn. Say what? What's up, Scoop? We got the 20-mile crew. We got my man Van Dirt. Putting around the crew. And Sweet Candy too, y'all. Say what? Ooh, what's up, woo?
I remember the black hole.
Yeah! I'm in town! Yeah!
I was in the black hole just about each and every Friday night, yo.
My man Fats! Yeah!
What about you?
Joel! Yeah! My man Joaquin! I think the right side! Say what? I should have said, yo! Y'all the front way!
Man, my old brother from number one, DJ D Money, let's get it.
Somebody touch you! Oh, we got one man Brock up in here tonight, baby. Good to see you, man. Tell me it's your weed. Man, let's go. Say what? Say what?
It's your girl Miss Kiana, the fun host, DJ D Money, and Frankie.
Say what? Say what? Say support the shit. Yeah. You wanna go? Say what? Say what? Oh, go ahead, girl. Say what? You wanna go? Go ahead, girl. Get on down, car line. Go on and get your freak on, girl. Say what? Hold up. I smoke weed for my cataract. Kenny, young nigga, get money anymore. Tell Pete my mic is dragging on the floor. Get out the flat chick without no drawers. Come to baby without no drawers. Talk about swag, cause we'll burst you. Talk about money, cause we'll burst you. Don't you talk about breaking, cause we'll burst you. Hold up. Hey. Hold up. You done pissed Dave off. Yeah, I know you hear that shit. Party Dave. Snoop. Big Snoop, also my man Ghost. 19, forgive me right now, y'all. One time for cousin Dirt. Also my man Money's in the house. Also that 6 and W stars. Percussion. One time with my man Black in the house, y'all. One of the most talented lead guitar players out the area, y'all. Talking about my man Black, y'all. That's the sound of my niggas that be drinking. Who that is? That's the sound of my niggas that be drinking. You gonna drink Bacardi and drink somebody else. And that's the sound of my niggas at the bar. And who that is? And that's the sound of my niggas
your man
that be
Billy the Kid,
drinking.
DMV, stand up. My man D Money, holding it down like Cootie Brown. If you ain't party with D Money, you ain't party.
Yes. If you down here and participate, with who? WHAT. It's with who? WHAT. I said now all day I could not wait. Yeah. To get down here and participate. With who? WHAT. Oh, but I grind the baseline, girl. Here we go. Grind the baseline, stick out your backside. Wind the baseline, stick out your backside. Wind the baseline.
It is the Blend Show right here each and every Wednesday night, 8 to 10. Facebook, YouTube, streets. Tell somebody to tell somebody. Tonight's special guest, Darrin X. If you got any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We got you tonight.
We gon' party like it's your birthday.
History lesson you did.
Yo, hey, Ebony, baby, what's we gon' party like it's your birthday. Let's go, shorty. Yes, say Joya, baby, what's we gon' party like it's your birthday. Let's go, shorty. Yes, my baby keeps a girl. Oh, but now we don't give a fuck, it ain't your birthday. Hey, 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 hey. I'm good to go, sweet. I'm good, baby. I'm feeling good. Good to see you at Dover. Also, we got that 4th Street Wild House tonight, y'all. That 19 can get me right now, /501 bars. Also, my man Red. We even got about the Landover stars. Off the top notch crew. Do they? Also, Walker Mills. My 500 stars celebrating the birthday tonight, y'all. Also, Potomac Guns, y'all. Give me that beat.
Yes, Lord.
Potomac Guns is here, y'all. The Seabury Farm. Party one, baby, let's go. It's Dipset, all stars. Good to see my Bill Haven crew is here, y'all. Also, a man Ron, talking about Sonny's Barbershop, y'all. Yes, indeed, them. C&D, good to see y'all, stars. Body Southwest, my man Don and friends, y'all. Get me.
It is the Blend Show right here. Facebook, YouTube, streets, Wednesday night. It's me, your man, DJ D Money, for your listening pleasures. Of course, we got the team in the building, full effect. Nika Ray's in here. Bootsy Vegas down there. And our special guest, Mr. Darrin X, is here with us right now. You dig? That's what it is, man.
Darrin X. Nico, you had something?
No, go ahead.
No. Well, speaking of just that last song that we played had rapper in it, and I would love to know, just what was your experience like? Because for people who do know, your background, you transitioned out of Rare Essence and you decided to go with 911.
Mm-hmm.
What made you transition out of that situation? What was
I mean, for us, the whole situation was just, I got there, when it just became a thing where we were just going fast and we just didn't feel like we were getting compensated like we should on records and things like that. And it was like sitting down with your boss asking for a raise, and he keep telling you, hit me up in 6 months, and it's been 2 years now. So I'm not trying to be negative about it, but it's business. You know what I'm saying? Everything is business. And if you can't negotiate or be tactful enough to get what you want, you can't pretty much be mad at the person because they outmaneuvered you. You know what I'm saying? You just got to up your game.
Right.
So, that was one of the things with Donnell. He just decided to go, he just wanted to do his own thing. And a few people he talked to before I even knew he was going to do it had already agreed to do it. So by the time I got there, it was already a band. 911 was already a band. But, we just left to do what we always did.
Mm-hmm. Do you think your 911 experience was a success in your mind, looking back at it now? Like when you sit here in 2020, do you think that whole experience was successful for you?
For the run we had, I would think so. We changed the game. And for me, it's the younger people who were impressionable back then who come up and say that was the first time I ever seen a super band. and that was inspired me to do what they're doing. Like, and I think that's for me. Go-go's always been fun. It's just that I never learned to make it a business for a while. You know what I'm saying? I was just always trying to, do what I've always learned how to do and what I saw. But it was always a business side of it that, that at the time when, we left to do 911, it was like, this is the business side now. And, I learned a lot. It was fun. For me, I don't think it was a failure. I mean, I think like with any band, I think we just we needed that structure in Rare Essence to really be that type of band that we were trying to be.
What does that mean? You needed the structure. Can you elaborate on that, please?
So with Rare Essence, we had things that were in place that we followed. Like even with our studio sessions, we would all do them a certain way, and we played with each other for so long. We knew each other. Even with some of the band members leaving, we still had that core that we could depend on. So, I mean, with 911, we were bringing in people we never played with before. So they didn't kind of like, I'm not saying they didn't have the work ethic, but sometimes when the chemistry, but sometimes when we would buckle down and do what we knew we had to do, sometimes they would come around when, with it the same way, but at a different time. But we all would meet up and be like, okay, as long as we're here, let's just keep going.
Mm-hmm. So why do you think the 911 thing didn't work out? Looking back,
I'm not gonna say it didn't work out. I think with Donnell, he really wanted to succeed at it because I mean, to me, he just always been that type of person that he's going to give it 1,000%. Even if he failed at it, he's going to give it 1,000%. And I never felt like we couldn't make it. I just felt like there were a lot of things around us that held us back a lot.
Okay. Which was?
Like I said, we played with people we never played with before. We're bringing people in the band who we would never tolerate when we was in Rare Essence sometimes with the attitudes and the work ethics, And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but when you on a level, it's different than playing for a G League team and an NBA team. It's just a different standard, So when you hear, I don't know what worked over there, but this is what we do here.
Right.
And, and that became, and then when you bring people in the band who have made it their way all the way to their success, you can't change them. You can't mold them into what you want them to be.
Right.
Speaking of G League, you are affiliated with Washington, D.C.'s G League basketball team. Can you what is your position with our what's the what
Capital City Go-Go.
Capital City Go-Go.
I just want to see if Bootsy was on because I haven't seen him at a game yet. That's all.
I have.
I've been there. I have been there with them.
I've been in the building.
Oh no, I've been to those games and Washington Violator games with my son. Darrin can tell you, I've been there.
It was okay, X. You can tell us he was bothering you. We know.
Nah, he's cool. I tell him all the time, man, come. Anytime you want to come, man, let me know.
Hey, but hold on, before you answer, my son harassed him for a football, though. He really harassed him for a football, though. He
did. Did he get one?
He sure did. But go ahead, though. You said D-Money was asking, what is your position with the Go-Go?
So Monumental Sports owns the team, and that's who I work for. I work for Monumental Sports Entertainment.
Shout out to
at the arena.
and his son.
Yeah. So my department is broadcast technology. So we pretty much everything you see on TV through Monumental is produced by us, like our team. It's a huge team of people, and part of my responsibility is working with the arena for presentation, setting up, making sure everything is in line, all the communication.
Right.
Press people had a thing, a lot of TV trucks, and there's a lot of money involved with that stuff. So it's no game. Like when it's lights, camera, action, you can't ask a basketball player to redo a dunk if you miss that shot. Like you got to be on your game. Everything has to be working. NBA will find you like the police. Like that's what they do. Everything has to be uniform. They don't want no team complaining about another team cheating because the basket is 2.9 inches shorter than it was last time they played somewhere. So everything has to be uniform. Like they check, it's all audit. Everything is pretty much that. Now the G League team came along, and they pretty much are owned by the owner, Monumental Sports. So we do the same thing we do for the Wizards and the Caps and the Mystics and the Valor. We do the same thing for the Capital City Go-Go.
Okay. With it being with that name, and when it came into play and publicly with the go-go and then the logo, how important should the bands be like really keeping an eye or trying to relate to that situation over there? Because I was blessed to go to a couple games thanks to you, and I just didn't see what I thought I was going to see as far as our own music
Right.
sound and music entity in there.
Right. So a lot of politics is involved because the arena that they play in is owned by the DC government, pretty
Right.
much. So if we wanted to put a statue of Chuck inside of it, we couldn't because it's not our building. That was one of the things. So that's probably why you saw that part. Now, as far as the end game stuff in the team, now you gotta understand, like I was saying about the uniformity thing. It was like one of those things where why Miles can't call the game. Well, Miles isn't an NBA commentator, so you can't have someone who's not an NBA commentator commentating the NBA game because that's what the NBA requires. So it's a lot of things that play into certain things you can and can't do during the season over there, even though they're a G League team. So
Right.
a lot of that stuff has to be like in between timeouts. You know what I'm saying? So like when you were there, a lot of the music that was being played was because we had a DJ who was familiar with the culture, DJ Jealousy.
Right.
So even if you're sitting in the crowd and you're watching a fast break, you're hearing go-go being played, even though it's mixed in with a little bit of hip hop. So when you do timeout stuff, they got the Congo cam, and you gotta understand these people from out of town, they just doing a job. They get dropped in their lap that the team is now called the Capital City Go-Go, and you have to address the culture and you have to learn all of this. So now they're scrambling and trying to figure out what can we do? How can we incorporate what we do with the Wizards into what we do over here and be more authentic as well?
Wow. Okay, that's what's up. I mean, yeah, shout out to Jealousy. I was he be putting it in there, and in the atmosphere. I'm not a Wizards fan, but I do attend Wizards games because I have no
Yeah,
choice to see NBA action but the Wizards until now. And I actually had more fun and felt that fan atmosphere at the go-go games versus the Wizards games. It seemed like it's just more
it is.
interactive
It's
to
I
me.
think it's see over there. I actually know the people because most of the times they go over there and work the games. We know them, and they always asking us like, "Who you have in here from the go-go community?" I said, "Oh, I got Sauce. Sauce can do the go-go cam, so I'll go get Sauce, and he'll come do the go-go cam." So it's
Okay.
stuff like that. And if I had more people there involved, because the inaugural game, we invited a lot of legends to come stand on the floor, and they introduced them at
Wow.
halftime for the inaugural game when they first ever home game. So they're interested in doing all of this, but they just they don't nobody's there to tell them, hey, we have this, we have that, we got this. What kind of trivia could we do? Where they really know this? We did this type of way instead of using some other type of trivia. So they're trying to be more cultural appropriate, but they need more people involved to do that.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
you think that, like currently, I know that they were doing well, I'm not gonna say currently because obviously we're in COVID-19, but prior to this, they were doing the Go-Go Friday Night series with the Wizards, doing the
Oh
after
yeah,
the show after the game. Is that something you think will be incorporated with the Capital City Go-Go to bring more bands to be involved?
well, again, that's the politics side of it. So you have to if you do that type of stuff, like I said, if you do it in between a timeout, you have to be off that floor in a certain amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
or the visiting team can complain and the NBA will get involved. So people who don't have like confidence in that they can do that don't try it. So it's more like we're trying to convince them, hey, we'll help you. We help you guys do it. Like I say, our crew works the game, but we don't own the building. DC Events own the building, so their crew does everything over there. They're the ones that put the floor down, put the tables out, and all that. We just support our end of it. But that's part of it. That's why we can't do what we really want to do, like we can over at Capital One Arena, which we can pretty much have this, put on the show. And like I said, my boss Quentin Addison over there has been very vocal in making all of that happen over there, and as well, getting convinced them to take a look at the name, the Capital City Go-Go.
Gotcha. So with the Capital One Center, there's more leeway when it comes to having the go-go
Yes.
versus okay.
Yes, very much. It's our building. We as long as the NBA say we clear, we could do whatever we want after the game. It's our arena, you know what I'm saying? And we have to be out at a certain time, but we get all that done. And it's pretty much just promotion. That's pretty much all it is. How can we get more people to come to the game and stay for a concert? And that's pretty much what it is. It's all marketing. It's a business.
Gotcha.
Shout out to Ted.
Has that been successful for you? You think has that been successful for the company, for the Wizards? That after concert series thing, has that been successful to you?
Yeah, well, yes, to a certain extent. Like, so we playing a team that's not really big. Like, you know, they're not really good. Like, to say a team that's under 500, and a lot of people not gonna come see them, right? So you say, how can I get fans to come and offer them something that they'll stay for?
The Timberwolves.
Yeah, okay, pick the Timberwolves. You say, hey, let's have old school hip hop 90s night because we're trying to reach a different demographic. And what I learned about working in place where there's actually where money is really like corporate advertising money is really huge, that's all they do is pitch all night. They pitching all night. They just want people in the seats to pitch to them all night. Season tickets, kids packages, 4-game home series. The Capitals are playing tomorrow night. Go get your tickets. You know what I'm saying? They just pitching to people all night. So when they do the R&B and hip hop stuff, it's pretty much a pitch to a demographic to get more people to come in so they can broaden their advertisement footprint as far as asking other companies to come in because they got a different demographic coming in now to the games.
Wow, it's amazing. I know that you have done a bunch of work. You know, a lot of us know that you have a real relationship with Teddy Riley, but you also had a relationship with Andre Harrell. Could you just explain to us, because, you know, we do know that it was a situation.
I heard you. Go ahead.
That is so funny, bro.
That's his Teddy Riley move right there.
Can we just speak on the fact that he has lights that are timed? Because I don't have that in my house.
The motion sensor is like tripping in here right now.
Bro,
yeah, I heard you, Andre.
Yeah, but
I need to move more, man. Nobody's never here.
But my question is, could you really speak on Andre Harrell and his affinity for go-go and what he thought go-go could be? Because I've heard Donnell say this and White Boy. They pretty much said that he really believed in it, but you guys just couldn't find the right song that they felt was going to be good to present.
That's what it's all about. At the end of the day, see, if you know Uptown's history, like if you really know it, you could say to yourself, well, why would they waste their time? You know what I'm saying? I can run down you a discography right now, and Erasmus will be a blip inside of that. And you will say, why would they ever let up to try that if it wasn't ever proven in a way where you're not getting the same kind of reaction as, let's say, Uptown's, real quick. Uptown's first release was Guy in 88. It came back with Al B. Sure. Hev had his debut album in 88. Al B. Sure came with his second album in 90. Jodeci came out in 91. Hev had his second album in 91. Strictly Business soundtrack came out in 91 is when Raz was talking to them. Which Raz was on. And that's when it started. Right after Hev, because I think we were trying to get on Hev's Peaceful Journey album, I think. And that was we couldn't get a song on. I'm not sure what happened. I wasn't working the details out, but after 91 when Strictly Business came out, Reyes came out in 92 with Work the Walls on our own label. And we were off of Uptown by then. Like we wasn't even around. Now, Jodeci dropped March of 91. So they were actually so what I'm saying is, if you've seen that chronological order of these hip hop groups who that were doing huge numbers back then, you get to the Strictly Business thing in 91. You get the essence saying, we don't want to wait, we got to come out, we want to do what we want to do, we want to control more of the creativity and let us be more free. But they're saying, hey, look, we got 5 #1 double platinum albums before you guys. I think we know what we're doing here. So they came in and brought in producers to hip hop, the jazz, to sound up a little bit. But when we got out of that, we dropped our album in July 92 and Worked the Walls. Mary J. Blige dropped her debut album 2 weeks later.
Wow. So, well, why do you think the marriage with MCA in Rare Essence didn't work, essentially? Like, if you had to give me a roundabout, what was the final straw of why it just didn't work?
So whenever I say if you see somebody as good as they are and they haven't taken it to the next level, it's always a reason.
Mm-hmm.
There was a reason, and some of it was politics, and some of it was creativity, creative control, and a lot of that was. I mean, Rare Essence has always been Rare Essence. When you've been successful at what you've been at, well, you get to a point and somebody says, I'm going to take you to the next level, but you got to wear platinum jeans and you got to wear sequence jackets. You're looking at it like that never worked for us. Like we never had
Yeah,
to
that
do
sounds
that.
like me and listen. I know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
So why would we want to do that? But this is the next level. But most people go to the next level and remain themselves. I know all these guys haven't been, doing this, but yes, they have. I watched, when Father MC came out, he wasn't the Gumby head dude. They was trying to make him like Bobby Brown. What was the trend? So that was pretty much they was trying to keep up with the sound. It was Uptown. You know what I'm saying? It was you can't just go against them when they've been already proven they can make hits.
So my question is, the songs that you guys did, looking back at it now, you don't think none of the songs that MCA and y'all did was good enough to be released as a single?
Well, you tell me, because they on the Work the Walls album.
My man, say no more. Do. I got you. There it is. Now, and I appreciate you being so candid about this, but for a lot of people who don't know, so you transition out of the Rare Essence thing, you transition out of 911, and then somehow you and TCB link up. Now, I remember seeing you working with Raheem Devon and Jerry, with Genuine and Raheem, and then I saw you full throttle with TCB. Please tell me how the whole TCB Mr. X thing came together.
A guy named Polo.
I heard of him.
I went to see Backyard. I was coming off the road. I hadn't heard Go-Go for a while, so I was like, man, I'm gonna go see Go-Go. I'm gonna go see a band play. Who's playing tonight? Well, only band playing was Backyard, down at the Hogates, down at the waterfront. And I was real good friends with Unc, the bass player.
Yes.
And I was like, let me
Leroy.
go see them play. Yeah, Leroy. That's my big brother. So we go in there. As I'm coming up the sidewalk, Polo's coming out. And he's saying, X, man, you just missed us playing. I said, I just missed out playing. Who are you talking about? He said, my band. I'm saying, what you doing with a band? 'Cause I never knew Polo to have a band. If you knew him, he didn't have a band. So I got a band, come see my band play. I said, all right, man, we changed numbers and I'm going to see Backyard. He called me like maybe the next day or 2 days later and said, he just gave me the rundown. I got this band, I've been doing this, come see us play. So I promised not to come see him play. I said, all right, Lo, the next time you play, because I'm thinking I don't think they play that much. I said, the next time they play, I'm going to come. I promise you. What's your next show? He said, tomorrow night.
He told you.
Yeah, he got me.
He showed you.
And when we went to the show, we pulled up and it was like all these people out front. It was kids, teenagers, early 20s, late teens.
Where was the
out
show?
there lined up? I think it was at Woodbridge Skating Rink.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm thinking it's Woodbridge Skating Rink if I'm thinking of it. So we went in there.
Yeah, hold on. Because people who don't know, Woodbridge and Manassas come out in volumes for Go-Go when you out there. They come in volumes, bro. Like, I don't think people really realize in that Woodbridge, Manassas area, it's huge numbers out there back then. But go ahead.
Yeah, he came. We went in, and the band started playing. And when they started playing, I was lost because I couldn't find the one. It was like I was trying to figure out where everything started at, where it ended at. It was like, and I'm like, oh my goodness! I mean, it was loud in there. It was just they didn't have the same discipline as Rare Essence or Trouble Funk or somebody like that would have when they trying to play music. They were just loud.
Mm-hmm.
And we got finished. He said, man, how you think we sound? And I said, man, I gotta figure it out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, man, I said, but wait a minute, let me ask you something. Y'all never played the congos all night. What was that about? He said, man, my crowd don't like the congos. I said, Lord, I'm gonna figure out. I don't know if I'm I gotta figure out what you do, because how can you play the 10 bodies all night? It was just like beyond me.
But they
and he said, he said, come to the show the next time we play. I'm gonna show you why I don't play the congos. So I said, okay, cool.
Was
Went
the
to
next show
another
the next
show. It was the next night. These dudes kept playing, and I think it was the Hot Shops. I think went to the Hot Shops, and they started doing their thing, playing. Just came up to Timbales again. So I'm like, this man, and he looked at me. He said, "Watch this." In the middle of a Timbale song, he said, "Call Love, the Congo player," and they dropped it down into a Congo beat, and the whole floor just like disappeared. They walked off, and they thought they was like ending the show. And he had to go back into a Timbale joint to get him to back to come on the floor. He went right back into another song after that. And after he got off the stage, I said, that's amazing. And I learned from Chris that he actually liked Northeast Groover song, I think Duck Walk or something, that he liked, that he said he was going to tell Chris that he was going to play that beat all night long because that's what people like. And I said, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. He gave me a couple of CDs and I went home. And I realized some of the stuff is just work the walls on steroids. It's just open hi-hat and snare. And then some of the stuff that Buggy added in the early days of Backyard, they mixed in with it. But Neil and Love pretty much created that sound, that those chopping and coming around and dropping on the ones and all that. Now that's a different kind of bounce beat. That's chopping bounce beat. That's different. See, I learned all of that. I had to learn different styles of bounce beat. You gotta know what you're talking about, E. That's kind of like what Bait is based off of. It's like that marching type of beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It slow bounce a little bit. So
how long did it take you to think that that he was on to something and it could potentially be successful and marketable?
I met Ben Abba, Lowe's manager. He was the guy who was handling everything for Lowe. Lowe was the promo man. Lowe ain't want no deal with no business. He just wanted to be the promo man. He wanted to be him. And Ben was the guy that I talked to, and I realized like he's going to keep this together. Whatever this is, they're going to be the best at it because they had a guy that was pretty much could make almost anything happen. And then you got Polo. And I would see the other bands and I'm thinking like, these are kids. They're going up against Polo. It's like, it's not going to be a match. Like, this guy's going to mop the floor with these kids. And that's exactly what happened. But the kids was keeping up because I think what he didn't understand is you got to have your own sound. And if you don't have your own sound, brand something and say it's your own sound. And that's what he did. And that's how he came up with the term bounce beat.
Wow.
Interesting. So let me ask you, because you opened a door that I've really never thought about. You said that there's different styles of bounce, and you said like the Bait is a chop bounce. Where to go into that a little bit? Because we kind of, the old head. I learned to endure the bounce beat. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I can do a full night of it, but I can give it a half anyway at this point. But what is some of elaborate a little bit on the different styles and
okay, so a lot of it is about cadence. It's pretty much once you learn that, what the band is saying, if you can listen to what the timbale is doing and the bass player is doing. J-Bone was TCB's original bass player. He was great at doing that.
He sure was.
Playing off of the vocals. He was good at doing that, and then everybody else played along with that. And Neil just pretty much just kept the beat going, and Love was just like play behind that. So even with TCB, they had several styles of bounce. I mean, I'm gonna name these songs. You probably ain't gonna know nothing about them. But 2003, and you got even with Pac-Man Poppin', it's like a really choppy type beat.
Oh, I love that.
You know what I'm saying? And it's really fast.
Hold up, X. How it go, E, if you know it.
You got a Pac-Man popping.
Sometimes you don't know with him. You gotta question it.
First of all, people don't realize this. I grew up with Polo. We're born and raised in the same.
That don't mean you was at the shows.
No, let me tell you what I did with him one day. One day, he came to 2K9 and I put him on stage with Listen. And they looked at me and I'm like, yeah, just go ahead, bro. We bounce in the beginning. The reason why he got in 2K9 was because I put him with the homie Bink and was like, hey, let me holler at y'all. That's how they even got in 2K9, but I don't know.
I see you. We get it poppin' like it's bang bang. You bitches know my name.
So that style right there will be called.
That's. I mean, I don't know if I can call it anything. You have to ask them. I mean, I just knew what it was when I heard it because, I mean, shout out to Goldie. You know what I'm saying? When Goldie came to band, Low wanted to play more samples. Like he said, I want you to teach me. I want to do what you did with Ray Essence with the bounce beat. I said, man, and this is I was joking with him. I said, if you do that, you gotta get somebody like me. And he was like, why don't you play in my band? I was like, Lo, you need to find somebody that's gonna play in your band and do what you want them to do. I'm gonna help you get that person, but I mean, you know, I'll show you whatever, but get that person. That's how we got Goldie in the band. And he just started bringing around better musicians. That's how TCB actually got better. They just started bringing in better musicians, people more seasoned to do what they do to complement the guys who are already there.
Right. Now, just on a scale of 1 to 10, how were surprised you were to see that this was actually successful and it ended up grabbing the whole DMV area for a young generation? How surprised was you?
Man, I wasn't surprised. I was dependent on it. I wanted to shake things up. Them boys made it fun for me. You know what I'm saying? They took me back to the EU days when we used to wear our own jackets and you know what I'm saying? We had the blue PA, Ray had the green PA, and Essence had the red PA. You can't play on anybody's stuff. Had to have your own PA. And you had to set up in front of the band that was closing the show. They gave you a little small piece of stage in front of the stage at Cherries. Essence set up everything. And you had to set up around that. And they weren't moving anything. That's how I was back in the day. It was a competition thing. Wow. And it was always like, I was like, Lo, listen, we gotta stand out. We gotta brand this, we gotta do it. Lo came up with the jackets, came up with getting everybody chains. We wasn't rock stars, but we looked like it. And that perception was people's reality. And all we did was came in and we pretty much steamrolled everybody. Like there was a band called CCB. CCB was good, but they was like the polished side of TC, you know, bounce beat. TCB was the street. And when you put them two in a show and we on the side watching them, they intimidated. We all black. You street dudes. You know what I'm saying? They put together like a church band. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we hear y'all, but watch this. I'm a dog, and you know I ain't playing.
Let me ask you this.
So, you know.
Let me ask you this. Were you a part of the organization at the DC Armory show?
We played on that show, but I wasn't part of it. I don't know. I can't remember who threw that show. I think the little young guys, Team Major, came on later, or you know. But no, we never had that.
How upset really was Polo?
He was pissed
at UCB.
He was pissed at Raw Image.
No, I think he was pissed at us.
Oh,
did y'all bring the little dudes on stage and was like Polo was the short one and y'all had six?
That was me. I was about 3 X's bigger back then.
So yeah, okay. So he was met. Hey, listen. So we back there, and he was like, "This is the type of stuff I don't want to deal with." Like, cause he looked up to Rock Mikey and them, right? He didn't want no smoke with Rock Mikey and them, but it was like he was just trying to be what they were trying to be. See, and I think when TCB was coming up, I'm not saying UCB was coming down, but I mean I think TCB was being more relevant to the crowd that UCB wasn't getting anymore. And I think that's how TCB got in the back door. But he was upset at that. He pretty much wanted to go on stage, and it was a huge show. And this is why I said they made it fun for me. I said, Lo, when I was with RE and we had big shows like this, we went at everybody on the show. We did a skit. We told them we came in on a helicopter. We would do anything. We come on stage with masks on and pulled our hats off, and everybody had bald heads. Like that's the type of stuff we did. So he said, you know what? I'm gonna make a statement tonight. I'm gonna let these dudes know. So he went on stage, and after everybody tuned up, he told everybody be quiet. And he turned around, gave that little speech, and he went right into "I'm a dog," and you know, and he went right to his. He went right to where he's always been.
He was
stuttering. And that's what made him unique.
He was stuttering though.
Hey, but you gotta understand who y'all were at that time. He was come on. Yeah, he looked up to Lil Nigga.
I always wondered how he really affect.
He wanted to win on the merits. Like he really didn't want to like cuss people out and call them all kind of names just to get to the top. He wanted to do it on stage, and he thought that's what we were doing. You guys played before us. How did that happen? Right.
Because,
so how did that?
Because everybody was arguing at the meeting, and I said we'll open, but whoever follows better be ready.
Bro, that's what happened.
Walked out.
From that point on, he just felt like then and that's why he didn't take it from the younger bands like T.O.B. and Reaction when they
Right.
started to do it. It's like, I paid these dues. There's no way you could talk to me like this and think I'm not going to say anything unless you can do it on the stage. When you talk the other way, you're taking it somewhere else. And that's where
Wow. We had
he
some
never
great
liked that
shows,
disrespect.
great battles. I remember the Cusco, what is it? Cusco's days? I can't remember.
Cusco's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those days. Those were some good parties right there. That's when I started adapting to the bounce beat sounds.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was nice doing all that. I mean, even working with Wale, calling us to say, "Hey man, I want to do something for Polo," and I'm like, "Hey man, whatever you want to do." He was like, "Man, I love that song Bait y'all play. I want to do something with that." And when he called me and said he was finish it, we actually talked about, he wanted us to release it first on Twitter, like just start just blasting it, and he was going to do it right after us, and that's how that song took off.
Mm,
But he came to us for that because
that's what's up.
he really respected Lowe. He
Real
really
rough.
liked what Lowe was doing.
Yeah, he did big time. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead, nigga.
I was just gonna say I want to take it to the chat real quick. Shout out to Tito. He wanted to know, how do you feel about local radio and go-go?
I mean, it's no such thing as local radio. I mean, it's all owned by corporations. They dictate what happens. They don't care nothing about local people because they getting paid by the major companies to push whatever they getting paid to push.
Correct.
I mean, even with internet radio now, you shouldn't even have to worry about it. I mean, if you're in the region, they'll come for you. I mean, I learned that all over the years I've been working. Like, if you really hot and they really like you, they'll come for you. If you're knocking on their door and they, working on a huge album of somebody else's, and they see it, like what I experienced with the Uptown situation, and they will do whatever they want to get money. And if they don't have enough faith in you to push you out there, they won't really do it. So I would say, it's a lot of genres of music that aren't really popular, making a lot of money. And Malachi Johns would tell you there are a lot of bands that are touring that you've never heard before.
Yep.
So it's really not about radio. Man, if y'all don't, hold on.
I mean, but that's absolutely true. When you think about the ratings and
So
Arbitron,
it's genres of music. Genres of music that people haven't heard that are successful in their own little markets. So I don't really see it as radio being the end all be all. Just find your niche and get your little fan base, and then if it grows, it grows.
yeah, I think I was just speaking on, like, when it comes to ratings and Arbitron and things like that. I know that when it came to while I was working at KYS, it was all about, hey, if I play a Lil Wayne song or a Jay-Z song, or another station is playing it, and I start playing whatever band, like, our ratings go down because people want to hear the hip hop or the Jay-Z or the newest song that came out.
They're programs. You control the airwaves and the media. You control the narrative. That's pretty much how it is. You learn that in broadcasting school. Like, if you control what people see, you control what they think. And that's pretty much it. They don't push us, so people really don't know about us. And I really wanted to say something to go around that. So I believe that go-go has a karma about it. So we like a genre of music that plays everybody else's music. But when somebody plays our music, we want to be compensated for it. Like, we really want to, like, go to the hilt. Like, I don't believe Tiffany Haddish did that to us.
Mm-hmm.
But look how many times we've done it to other people that never paid them for it. So it's one of those things you have to give back to the artist as well. If you want the artist to respect you as being something that's paying homage and paying respect and doing it your own way. And sometimes the artist will get behind you and you can get more done instead of trying to hide it and hope nobody hear it, don't draw enough attention to it. If you're thinking that way, then why are you doing the record in the first place?
Well, that makes sense.
Wow.
If you had one key rule or something that you've learned that just stuck with you, that you think would be like the most pertinent advice to tell somebody when it comes to someone being in a band and trying to either get their music out there or just establish a band, what would you tell them?
Find the quickest way to get out your own way.
Elaborate, please. Elaborate.
So a lot of times artists think they know everything. Think they know what the crowd want to hear. They think they want to see you with no shirt on. They think that everything they do, people want to see and hear. But you need a group of people around you that have a good ear, that can understand who you are, what you do, and what you're trying to accomplish. And what the environment dictates at this particular moment, how you move in it. Because a lot of times you may be good at what you do, but there may be other factors that you cannot see that other people can guide you around. So I would tell anybody to just find common thinking folks that have a drive. Don't be around people who aren't as ambitious as you. You want people to push you. That's why Wu-Tang and all those other groups are so good, because they had people around them and they was pushing each other. So I say just get people around you that will push you. The cream will rise to the top. If you're not crabs in the bucket, you'll all eat. You'll all go to the next level.
Great advice. Well, it's coming up on our 10 o'clock hour. We want to make sure that you get all your information out there, how people can reach you, and get further information if they can. Just let everybody know what your social media is and so on and so forth.
Okay, so I have an app called Go-Go Royalty, and we pretty much play go-go music. So I like to tell people,
That's
ever
your
heard?
app?
Yeah. So if you ever heard your music playing on my station, call me. I got something for you. I like to pay people royalties. I can pay you
I'll
by
call you tomorrow. I'll call you
yeah,
tomorrow.
call me tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Call me.
I mean, but do you air the Blend Show on there at all? I ain't never heard us, but I just wanted to know. If
No. We stream, and we also have a subscription side where you can have access to every go-go CD that's probably been out since 1977 up to 2020 of almost every band and alphabetical order.
I got the app.
So yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to see. We're sitting home now, but people could actually be generating royalties if they own their own music, if they really had ownership. You know what I'm saying? But I'm calling people. I'm saying I'm making deals. If I'm playing your music, tell your manager to call me. I'm not paying everybody because you wouldn't do that to Spotify. So you know what I'm saying? Call me. We can make something out. Give me some exclusive stuff. We can do some deals.
For a while, like I saw you following like on social media and stuff, and I was like, I hit up them and I was like, who doing this? I was like, I like how it was broken down into different genres of the go-go. So you had what you wanted 24 hours a day and like no commercials or anything like that interrupting. And I was just like, so who doing this? We gotta figure this out. I need to know who doing this. And then, I got a little, birdie in my ear telling me, I was like, okay.
Yeah, and we're doing it the right way. We have licenses, so we pay royalties, like ASCAP, BMI, Sound Exchange. Like we're not stealing from people. I play an old school record and it generates a royalty. Call your publisher; he owe you some money. That's how I carry it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to get go-go the respect that it always needs to be done, but it has to pay its dues. I know it's been playing a lot, but it haven't been doing right. So let's do it right. Let's get it right.
I'm with it.
So what are your social media things for everybody who want to get in contact with you? They want to learn more about what you're doing with Go-Go Royalty or just in general. Where can they find you at?
I mean, I only got like maybe 2 pages. Facebook, Instagram. Well, I got a Twitter page too, but I mean, it's scrolling at the bottom. I think that's my Instagram, right? So yeah, you can inbox me on that. You can hit me on Facebook at Darrin X Frazier, or hit me on the Go-Go Royalty site. Inbox that if you're following it. I'm drilling pretty good at getting information to me. And we just trying to make this grow, man. This is what it's all about, just getting our own infrastructure, getting our own streaming, getting our own labels, getting our own everything, and just doing it the way that everybody has done it.
Wow. Well, I want to thank you for coming on. I don't know. I'm sorry, D Money. I didn't know you was about to talk. I just want to say thank you.
Go ahead.
No, because me and the homie Darrin X have always had a great relationship, and he's one of the only people, and I know Nika probably could attest to this too, and you, D Money. If we call the homie for tickets, if we call him for anything, he's always there. And I just want you to know that I appreciate you respecting everybody, no matter what their level or what people seem. Or
that's all it's about.
You know what I mean? I got a lot of respect for you, just respecting everybody who supports and participates in go-go culture. Much respect to your humility with that, because you make everybody feel like we're Darrin X. So that's amazing.
I appreciate that, man. I mean, it's just all about advancing the culture. Man. Shout out to the guys doing Mochella, Don't Mute DC. Like all that's for the culture. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that's what we need to be. You know what I'm saying? We need to be pushing it.
Right.
Real quick before we go, I know our time is coming up. I just wanted to know, are there any updates in regards to COVID-19 and monumental sports and the games playing or resuming at any time?
Well, we're following pretty much the league, NBA, NHL. All those guys have their own policies. Of course, we want to open back up, but it's the players. There's a lot of people involved when those shows. I call them show, but they really if sporting events goes on. There's a lot of people involved, and you really can't really get a good production. So you pretty much have to have the team, if you do anything, play by themselves. But that's going to take a time to do. But right now, we're just waiting to see what the NBA is going to do, NHL and all those other entities that have a vested interest in this.
What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, until they get a vaccine or some type of controllable count of not a lot of people being infected and dying, it's like really nothing we can do. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, we can try to get normal, but you don't want to risk people that loved ones who don't have that strong immune system. It's not just about you now. It's about.
Can you please say
around.
the immune system again? Because everybody ain't listening. Can you say it again?
Oh, it's real. It's real. I mean, even with the flu shots and everything, I mean, people don't want to get those, but you better have an alternative. Viruses are not imaginary. Disease is not imaginary. One thing can lead to another thing, compounded. COVID-19 is a result of SARS. It's not the disease, something that causes the disease. But that's, one thing can cause another. Same thing, AIDS is not HIV. So you really have to, stay ahead of the game.
Right.
Well, once again, we do appreciate you taking time out your schedule to hang out with us tonight.
Anytime,
you dropped some knowledge on our ears, and for sure, man, I appreciate you. You already know. And on behalf of the Blend Show, anytime you got something you want us to push it, contact Nika Ray, Boosie Vegas, or myself. We're definitely behind you. And I got a whole new eye and ear for this go-go royalty thing now that I know my man is 100% involved with it. Just brought me in.
That's what's up.
So I'm definitely going to check it out a little more deeper. I peeped at it and I kept moving, but I'm going back around the corner one more time.
It's real good, man. It's for the culture. It's for the culture. It's for us, man. It ain't for them, it's for us. Like, that's why I'm doing this. Like, you know what I'm saying? You sell merchandise and everything.
Yeah, I see.
For us,
man, I gotta get this the sensor, man. I don't you gotta move around. I'm not moving, I'm just sitting still, really.
Wow. But that's what it is. That's how it's gonna be. Hey, it's the Blend Show right here. We wrapping this one up. Our man Darrin X, I appreciate you. Bootsy Vegas, show some love real quick.
Dear Darrin X, I appreciate you, bub. Much respect, much gratitude. Thank you, bro.
I appreciate you. Thank y'all.
Nika Ray.
Thank you so much again. I know we've all said it, but we appreciate you coming and taking your time and doing a live stream with us. Obviously, this is new for us when it comes to live streaming because we're used to being in the studio and working together and being face-to-face and getting that energy as well. But we definitely appreciate you bringing that positive energy, as well as shout out to everybody that was tuned in and chatted with us on YouTube and Facebook. Shout out to Spivey. Shout out Mike on the keys from Team. I was about to say Team Settle. Lord have mercy. Team Familiar. Team Familiar.
I'm sorry. Still Familiar.
Still familiar.
Yes.
I can't keep up like that.
Yeah,
that part. But don't make me mute you tonight. I didn't mute you all night. Don't make me do it.
You're right.
Oh, I thought you were relaxed. Okay, moving on. But make sure you guys share this and share it with your friends, share it with everybody that's in the bands. Make sure they check out Go-Go Royalties. Make sure they try to get some money if they can. And let's get this business moving with Go-Go, y'all. We need it.
Shout out to Keyboard Dave, Big Dave chimed in, and also to Doughboy, Andre Brown. We appreciate you, bro.
Doughboy. Good drummer there. Good drummer there.
Great drummer, yeah.
Yeah. And also Spivey checked in off the late tip.
Spivey
Uptown, baby.
Yes. All right, man. I appreciate it. Darrin X, one love to your homeboy. Stay safe. All that good stuff, man. Hey, it's the Blend Show. We wrapping this one up.
Done with you, done with you. We have done with you, we done with you. Hey, done with you, done with you. We had done with you, we done with you.
Until next
Done
Wednesday
with
night.
you, done with you. We had done with you, we done with you. Hey, done with you, done with
of all
you.
sizes.
We had done with you, we done with you.
I like that one.
Done with you, done with you.
It's the Blend.
Turn your radio up. Listen to this. Listen to this. Turn your radio up, homie. Listen to this. Hey, listen to this. Listen to this. You turn your radio up, cuz. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this. Turn your radio up, cuz. Listen to this. listen to this. Here we go. Hey, they need crank. They need a dog crank. Listen to this, y'all. Listen to this. Come on.
Happy birthday, man.
Hey, they need crank.
Happy birthday.
They need a dog crank. Here we go. DMV, Go Girl Worldwide. Hey, turn your radio up. It's the blend, it's the blend.
The money need to rate with the Vegas at it again.
Turn your radio up. It's the blend, it's the blend.
The money need to rate with the Vegas at it again.
Turn your radio up. It's the blend, it's the blend.
Happy birthday, Scooby.
It's the blend. Chicka, chicka, damn, McLovin. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Come on. DT-Lo, DJ D Money.
Monday and Wednesday, 6 to 10. Chicka, chicka,
DMV, Princess.
turn your radio up. It's the blend, it's the blend.
The money need to rate with the Vegas at it again.
Turn your radio up. It's